Today we'll have a spooky chat, or almost. Have you ever wondered how would be the evil versions of our beloved main six? Hey beautiful people, I'm Julie, and today we will travel to the dark side of My Little Pony universe, and I promise that it will be scary and fun at the same time. So prepare your heart and come with me. Have you ever imagined how Twilight, Rainbow Dash, Rarity, Applejack, Fluttershy, and Pinkie Pie would be if they become villains? Well, that idea seemed crazy, but it was already explored in some part of My Little Pony universe. And get ready because this video is filled with facts and theories that will make your hair stand on the end. So let's begin with one that everyone remembers of, the famous Discord's maze from season 2. This is one of the most iconic moments of My Little Pony, and it was the first time that we saw the main six transform into something different that they're used to. In the episode Return to Harmony, Discord, our famous chaos spirit, escapes from prison and decides to toy with the main six, taking them to a magical maze filled with traps and challenges. But of course, it wasn't just any ordinary maze. Discord used his powers to completely distort the personalities of the main six, transforming them into dark versions of themselves. Rainbow Dash, that is always loyal, becomes a traitor. Applejack, that is the pillar of honesty, starts to lie to the other main six faces and ends up giving us these awesome expressions along the episode every time she tells a lie. They're hilarious. Pinkie Pie, the joy in pony shape, gets bitter and sarcastic. Basically that aunt of yours at the family gathering. Rarity, obsessed with beauty and generosity, clings to a dirty stone, thinking that it is a precious diamond. Fluttershy, the sweetest pony, becomes cruel and insensitive. And Twilight, our dearest leader, is the only one that resists, but ends up being consumed by despair by seeing her friends fall into chaos. Anyway, they don't do episodes like they did before, am I right? And this one is easily one of the best of the entire show. And this episode shows how easily our heroes could be corrupted back in the beginning of the series if they were pressured enough. Discord didn't need much to surface the dark side of each one of the main six. And here begs the question, maybe there is an alternative version of the evil side of each of them just waiting to be set free? And what if some villain or magical event amplified those evil tendencies? Try to answer that one. Now let's talk about the other dark versions of the main six, this time from the My Little Pony Game Loft game. If you haven't played that game yet, here's a tip. This game is a goldmine for fans. In one of the game's updates, we see the main six transform into terrifying versions of themselves, all thanks to an accidental spell from Trixie Lulamoon. In this special event, Trixie, trying to be powerful as always, ends up casting a spell that transforms her friends into nightmare ponies, creepy, corrupted versions of the main six, each having a sinister appearance, with darker colors, glowing eyes, and a menacing vibe. Twilight, for example, transforms into a dark version with bat wings and a facial expression that would make any pony tremble to the bone. But honestly, her mane is much prettier than the one that we see in the last episode of the series. And I wouldn't complain if they used these designs for her final version as ruler of Equestria. Rainbow Dash, always associated with loyalty, becomes a creature that spreads chaos in the skies. Fluttershy, that normally calms everything around her, transforms into a threatening presence that intimidates even the bravest pony. These versions don't change just their appearance. Each one of them also adopts a malicious behavior that goes in the completely opposite way of their natural personalities. A perfect example of how, under the right circumstances, any pony can turn into something sinister. And of course, the game challenges the players to undo this curse and bring the main six back to their normal state. But not before you face these nightmare versions of them. And how can we talk about the evil versions of the main six without mentioning Pinkamena? I mean, even enough the other ponies have their dark versions hidden. We clearly saw how Pinkie Pie can become if she was evil. If you saw the episode Party of One, you know what I'm talking about. When Pinkie Pie lost their trust in her friends, she didn't just get mad, she totally transforms into another thing. Her mane becomes straight, her smile disappears, and she adopts an empty facial expression. And this dark version of Pinkie Pie shows how vulnerable she is when she felt betrayed and left aside. Her chaotic energy that is usually used to lift the party spirit turns into something way sinister when she becomes Pinkamena. Imagine what would happen if a villain like King Sombra or Discord decided to manipulate her fragility of Pinkie Pie to transform her into Pinkamena permanently. With the powers to create illusions or play with emotions, they could easily make her lose the trust in her friends forever. And from there on, it would be a party of shriveled balloons and bitter cupcakes. A manipulative Pinkamena would be a potential threat, spreading sadness and distrust wherever she goes. Instead of being the soul of the party, she would be responsible to destroy anyone's joy. A Pinkamena corrupted by dark magic could even use psychological traps, manipulating her enemies with the same skills that she used to cheer everyone up. And honestly, that would be really scary. Although it is important to remember that Pinkamena isn't just evil, she is the deep hurt side of Pinkie Pie, showing that even the happiest ponies have their scars. And that's what makes a dark version so interesting and complex. Creepy. Now for the most interesting part, what if the main six really become villains in the series? Let's picture how that would go. Maybe by influence of some powerful villain or an ancient forbidden spell. Imagine a scenario where a new villain, maybe someone with greater powers than Tyrek and Chrysalis, appeared in Equestria. This villain could have the abilities to manipulate the deepest fears and emotions of any pony, corrupting their essences and turning them into their evil version. And differently than what we saw on Discord's maze, these evil versions wouldn't be temporarily and superficial. They would be complete versions, with the new motivations, new powers, and a new goal to destroy everything that the main six built. Twilight Sparkle, always obsessed with knowledge and control, could become a magical tyrant, ruling Equestria with an iron fist, eliminating anyone that dared to question her authority. Rainbow Dash, in search for becoming faster and better, could become a villain that eliminates any rival that dared to challenge her, spreading chaos in the skies. Rarity, obsessed with beauty and perfection, could create an empire where only ponies that meet her beauty standards are allowed, transforming the rest of the ponies into her puppets. Applejack, always proud of her work and tradition, could become a leader of a pony army that sets a regime to protect the idea of truth at all costs, eliminating anyone that disagrees with her. Fluttershy, in contrast with what we know about her, could become a cold manipulator, using her abilities to talking with animals to control the creatures of Equestria, turning them into their pawns. And Pinkie Pie, oh Pinkie Pie, she would turn into a nightmare master, using her skills to create terrifying parties that no one would forget about. These hypothetical scenarios open so much space for many possibilities and show how the main six, if corrupted, could cause the destruction of Equestria. It would be a true nightmare to live there, and maybe a challenge that even friendship magic couldn't solve that easily. What do you think could happen to each protagonist if that happened? Comment down below. So, what do you think? Would you like to see a whole season where the main six are villains, or that would be too scary for you to handle? Comment down below which evil version you find more interesting and why. And don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video with your friends. Thank you so much for watching this video till here, and hasta la vista!